Hey everyone, Hassan here. Welcome to the world of Ha. Today I got another Power Rangers Ninja Steel review for you. These are the first wave of villain figures in the 5-inch line. So Power Rangers Ninja Steel has premiered on Nickelodeon, and we've seen some of these characters on the show, but it's cool to finally have action figures of these as well. So I've done a review of the 5-inch figure Rangers, and I will do a little comparison as well to see that. But we have some villains now. So we have Ripcon right here, who I think is one of the generals kind of in the show, like one of the mainstays. We have Ripperrat, who is Ripperrat, might be a monster of the day, or maybe it's a general. I don't know. I've only seen the first episode so far as of the recording of this review. The second episode has aired, but I just have to watch it. And then we have the Basher monster. So the Bashers are the henchmen in the show, or at least one of the forms of them. I think there's another form or something that's in the show too. But anyways, we have some villain figures. So same style packaging as the 5-inch figures. You have the red Ninja Steel Ranger, Power Star right there, Ninja Steel logo, all that fun stuff. When you flip it around, so all of the 5-inch figures have the feature of piloting the Megazord, meaning they can sit inside of the Megazord. I'm a little skeptical about the villain figures because not all of them in the past have had full articulation. So I don't know if it's going to fit in the Ninja Steel Megazord, but we'll take a look. Why not? Because they're advertising this feature on the back, so that would be terrible advertising. But then again, the Ninja Steel toy line has not been the best so far, so I wouldn't be surprised about that. So you get an image of Ripcon right there. We have the Basher monster right there, so there it is. Very interesting design for the villain. And Ripperrat right there. There he is on the back. Pretty cool. You can already see the paint. You can see like a little bit of white there, and the rest is just solid blue. And then look at the back, and there's like a lot more detail there. You know, it's just, I wish some of these figures would have more paint, but then again, you know, you're getting what you pay for, and the cost would be much higher, of course, too. And if you're really into it, you can customize your figures and paint them yourself. But anyways, let's get these guys open and take a look. Alright, so I got the villain figures out of the packaging. Here they are. Let's take a look at each one of them up close. So let's take a look at Ripperrat right here. So, very interesting design. Very interesting design. We already talked about how it's, you know, lacking a lot of the paint details, but for what it is, it's still pretty cool. I mean, I'm just happy that we're getting villain figures. I really love that trend, and I'm glad that it's continuing, because the villain figures are so unique, and it's really cool to have, you know? So, definitely great to continue to get villain figures. Some of them, you know, always lacking articulation. Some have decent articulation, but the designs are just great. So, I love the little yellow eyes right there. So, pretty cool design overall. Really, really cool. So, articulation-wise, the top half is all one solid piece. So, none of this stuff moves, except for the arms can move forward and back. There's no elbow articulation. It's just one solid piece right here. So, it moves up and down, so it can go up this much or back that much, basically. So the legs can move forward about that much and move back a lot more, but they can do the splits. There's no knee articulation, no foot articulation. This is one solid piece here. So it's okay articulation. I mean, for a villain figure, compared to some of the other ones we have, at least you can move the arms a little bit. But I like the design, the little saw blades and everything. It's kind of cool. So I dig it. Definitely a cool little addition to the villain collection. So there's Ripperrat. I'm going to jump to the Basher right here. So these are like the henchmen, or at least one of the forms of the henchmen. So he's got this very generic looking little sword club thing. So it's alright. We'll take that out for now. So it has a decent amount of articulation. So the head rotates all the way around. So that is nice. The arms rotate all the way around there, and they can move up quite a bit. And then does have elbow articulation. So that is there. But the hands do not rotate. So there's that. Legs. can't fully do the splits because of those side pieces there, but it can go apart a decent amount. Same with moving them forward and back. You have the pieces there that block it. It does bend at the knee. There's no foot articulation. So pretty decent amount of articulation, so you can really, you know, get some good poses and stuff with these henchmen here. And pretty cool amount of detail too. I think the face is just so unique looking, so it's very interesting, like kind of those little blocks sort of. So very interesting design for the villain, but there it is right there. So pretty neat, pretty neat. The back as well has a decent amount of just design work. So, and I like the color scheme. It's a good color scheme with the black and blue and some gray. I think it kind of fits overall. So very interesting little design. And then of course this thing that he has. So yeah. So overall pretty decent figure, I would say. And then we come to Ripcon. Ripcon has a good amount of detail as well, but I do have one main complaint with him right away, which is that you just practically like touch him and the swords fall out. I don't know if it's just the Ripcon that I have or if they're all like it, but his hands are so wide open that these swords barely fit in. So here are the swords, if you just kind of wanted to see those. So they look kind of neat, but they like barely fit in. You'll see, like I can just kind of set this in there. Actually, well, usually this sword was in the other hand, but in this hand it's actually okay. Huh, okay, well maybe they just had him holding the swords in the wrong hand. No, this hand is still a little loose, yeah, so that's kind of frustrating, especially if you're trying to display it, because the sword can just so easily fall out. This one's okay, but it just matters which combination you put them in. So that's kind of annoying, but let's take a look at the articulation-wise. So the head rotates almost all the way around, but then that back piece kind of gets in the way. So decent amount of articulation there. The arm can rotate forward and back a little bit, but again, this gets in the way. Can rotate up, does bend at the elbow. Moving it forward and back and is a little restricted because of that. Moving it to the side, you can do a lot more because that little coat piece is kind of stretchy. And you can bend it at the knee as well. So pretty decent amount of articulation and pretty decent amount of detail as well. Very interesting design for the face. Like it's like this scary looking face and then just a little bit of paint right down the line there. Very interesting design. Lots of blue and red. So that's definitely pretty cool. And then the back as well. So yeah, decent amount of like texture to the design. So that's pretty cool. I just am annoyed by the swords not sticking in, and that's kind of frustrating. So anyways, those are the villain figures in the first wave for Power Rangers Ninja Steel, so we'll see what other villain figures we get. But so far, you know, pretty standard fare, kind of what we've seen before. A mix of some that are a little more articulated than others, mix of some with a decent amount of paint or not as much. Just a variety here. You know, these are alright figures, and they're kind of cool to have, especially to add to, you know, a collection of villains and rangers that we've been building over the last few years. So that's definitely pretty neat to have. So hope you guys enjoyed this review. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you later. I love that we live in a world where this is possible. We can actually have Rangers facing off against villains as toys, and kids can really live out their dream battles and everything with the toys. I think that's really cool, and obviously having them all on the same 5-inch scale is great to see. As you can see, Ninja Steel Red facing off against Ripcon. So definitely really cool to have, and you can, you know, if you want to go crazy with it, you can get armies of the Bashers and have them face off against the Rangers. You can really just go wild with your imagination and come up with really cool displays or just ways to play and have fun with these toys. So definitely really cool, and I recommend getting some villains and Rangers so that you can have them together in the same scale. So these are the 5-inch figures, and I will continue to review them as more release. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Got lots more reviews on the way. Thank you, and I will See you later.